Welcome back to Zafozi Time, your weekly Serie A podcast, coming at you live on YouTube, Twitch. For those of you who may have just eaten, you can check out the audio-only version on Spotify. Or
So wait, hold on. Clarify. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, but podcast later. Right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. For our millions of viewers, we apologize for the confusion. But you messed up my whole thing. I had a whole thing saying how if you just ate, you should just check out the podcast version on where are we? Apple, Google Play, and where else? Spotify.
Listen, whether they ate or not, they should always do the podcast version.
This is true. So if you're fully sighted, check out the podcast version. But give us a like. Also, what else? Subscribe on all platforms. Make us feel good.
If you are watching live right now, join us in the chat, and we like when people talk to us. So
we do.
I heard if we get 75 followers, our producer's going to start an OnlyFans. But that's what I heard.
A feet only OnlyFans. It's gonna stay on brand around soccer. It's gonna be good. He's gonna juggle 2 times without dropping the ball. All right, so guys, we should probably get into it. By the way, I'm Frank. If you're listening, I'm here with Dan, Chris, and Pietro, and they don't say we have the best intro in the biz for no reason. So that was that. Welcome. Say hello, fellas.
Hey.
Hey. Oh man,
let's kick it off with the Euros. Enough goofing around here. People got to go to sleep. We're old.
So we had 2 Italy games since the last time we talked, right? First one was Italy versus Switzerland, 3-0 Italy win. Kind of what I predicted, that they were going to have a cakewalk, for the rest of these games, really in the group stage. Where do you guys want to start with this? Do we want to start with Locatelli and how he needs to keep playing, and Verratti better not sniff the field in the knockout round? Because that's what I want to talk about. That if Verratti plays over Barella or Locatelli, I'm going to be extremely pissed off.
Yeah, that to me is going to be one of the interesting storylines. About up to this point, Mancini's done really well, right? He makes the right subs. I'll be curious if he recognizes what we all recognize, that Locatelli should be playing, and Verratti shouldn't get his spot back just because his name. And I'm going to be really interested if he does that or not.
Dude, I don't think there's any way. How can you possibly bench this guy after the game he just had?
I think you're going to put in Verratti.
Me too. I think he is staying.
I think maybe does a favor to Juventus for Locatelli. He slowed down his value, and then they close today.
Yeah,
I don't think he cares about Juventus at all. I don't think that's.
But maybe he doesn't know. I mean, to us, he's going to do us a favor. But to the team, I don't think Verratti's ready.
I don't think he played good the other day.
No, he didn't.
I think he wants to show too much.
Yeah.
He's the only one who doesn't play simple.
Yep.
Not only that, but Verratti has a history of doing stupid plays and getting random red cards. Like, I could just see him doing that in the middle of a knockout game and getting a red card for some dumb slide tackle. Like, I don't trust him. I'd rather have Locatelli there.
Listen, Verratti is the shorter, whiter Italian version of Pogba. They both think they're number 10s. They both want to play like champions. And at the end of the day, they're good players, but Pogba's not Zidane and Verratti's not Baggio. So let's move on.
About the Pogba, did you hear the Manchester United offer contract 20 million? He must be kidding. Must be 20 million a year.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, well, they got to do something with him because his contract's expiring so soon. They got to offer a new one or get rid of him. Pogba can't tackle, and he knows it. Yes, his defense is lacking. But even we all think that he's a little even overrated on his offensive skills.
I think Mancini is doing good, right?
I do too.
I also think he has a little problem in a sense. He has Chiesa Berardi or Verratti Locatelli. I mean, they're a good player in case they come in.
Listen, on the right side, it's okay to have that problem. Those you can't go wrong with either one of those. The problem we all think that Locatelli should be playing instead of Verratti. But we think that he's not going to make that decision. He's not going to make that call. He's going to keep Verratti in.
Who here out of us four thinks Verratti is going to start next game? I don't.
I think he's going to start.
I want to give Mancini credit because he's been doing really well up to this point. I want to hope that he sticks with the three that played the two games.
So what do you think? Do you think he's going to?
I'm going to give him credit until he proves me wrong. I'm going to say that he doesn't play Verratti. But I know the money is probably the other way that he will play them.
That's a shame. If that happens, that's crap.
You know what I think also? I think Jorginho with Verratti play war.
Yeah, because
they play too much close to each other.
Because Verratti tries to control the ball too much. He tries to do too much.
Right. Pass the ball fast,
Yeah.
If you look at the third game, right, that Italy played, okay, yes, they were qualified. They changed 9 guys, but in terms of the fluidity in the midfield and how quick they played the ball, there was a noticeable drop off. Now, some people will say, "Oh, it's because they were qualified, they were taking it easy," but those guys, they're reserved. Like that was their first game for a lot of them, so they should have had all the ambition. So I think Verratti is a big negative on how they.
But if you think about the third game, which Mancini changed about 7-8 people, and 1-1 nothing, I think we did play good.
No,
it was by far our worst game.
It was not a good game.
I mean, there wasn't enough fluid to play. It wasn't enough fluid.
I can't take that game.
Even if they scored the goal, I don't think he did the great things.
Dude, I can't take that game seriously when you're starting Bernardeschi. I'm sorry. There's no reason he should be on the team. So,
Bernardeschi and Belotti showed that he's Belotti. Belotti has a knack to, run just slow enough to miss 38 crosses in a row, and then when he's got to run a little too fast, he hits him in the back of that. Like he manages to mess up chances. And
no one ever doubts his hustle. He just doesn't have that final striker, thing that you need. A quality striker. That would be my other point. The biggest issue they have is if Immobile gets hurt or comes up lame or something, they're lost at striker.
You see, in a way, I think, Mancini changed 7 people. And most of them, they want to show they are equal or better than the other one. And this is the case of Belotti. They have too much pressure like that.
Yeah, but I didn't see that.
Everything is good for them. I mean, if they are used as substitutes, maybe they do more. Some of them do to them.
Listen, what we're also seeing is too, like Spinazzola makes a big difference. Not having him on the field, that makes a big difference. Di Lorenzo also made a big difference. Toloi didn't play. In terms of going forward, Toloi is not going to be as good going forward, right? So, it's just one of those things. Like, are the players all decent? Yes, but
plus, what I don't understand, like what Mancini did when he played Bastoni a chair. I mean, I would have switched position to both of them. Bastoni played on the left. I think I would have put him on the right.
Hey, Rich.
A chair on the left.
I don't think it's going to make a difference. They're both not going to
start. Make a difference.
No.
Those people make a difference.
I will say, though, I think even the concentration of the defense, right? There was one. I mean, listen, Wales didn't do a whole lot, right? But the play that Bale got wide open, that he missed the chance to tie it 1-1, no one covering him.
But whose fault that was? That was Verratti. He was the closest one to him, and he just drifted off of him.
Well, but it's a lot of people's fault, right? And then this is the difference between having Buffon in goal and Donnarumma, where he's got to grow. If you saw Donnarumma's reaction, he put his hands up in quiet and was kind of like, guys, what do we do? We're not marking, right? Buffon would have been screaming at people, right? Like you can't, that's a mental lapse that you can't have. Even if it falls to Bale 3 more times, he's probably scoring twice, right? So you just can't do that in a game where it's and that's where I don't understand Acerbi and Bastoni. They're still trying to prove themselves, trying to get a bigger role in the team. I don't get the mental lapse. That I don't understand.
Yeah. Would you guys that red card? What'd you guys think? I think if that happened to Italy, we'd be so pissed.
I don't think it was a red. I think it was a harsh red card.
Do you know what? Spinazzola shows is very important to us, especially after we saw Emerson. I would think I was thinking better of Emerson.
Spinazzola best player.
Show me he was in form or something like that, or at least be able to take Spinazzola plays.
Listen, when you guys made fun of me for 4 years ago, call me the Spinazzola fan club because he was the only person I wanted Juventus to buy from Atalanta, and I cried for 3 years after they got rid of him.
We agreed with you, but he is always hurt.
Not this year.
Yeah, he got hurt this year too.
For not more than everyone else.
Listen, he makes a difference when he plays, but he still gets hurt.
And listen, he still has room to improve, by the way. Because for how good his running is, he's missing a little bit of that final touch that Gosens gives you, the better cross, more consistent, scoring. But, in terms of his pace and how he runs into space, he still could even be better.
Yeah. I think the one team, every other team in the tournament is saying the one team we don't want to play right now is Italy.
So that's because, they haven't let up a goal defensively. They're still very strong.
Now, the thing is worth to think about, Mancini's to think about, you know what it is? I would have saved Chiellini this week. I would have played somebody else at his place because if we win Austria, probably we're going to get to Belgium. And Lukaku is there, right?
Yeah, you're just going to look ahead?
It's hard, though. You can't really plan ahead.
Sure, you have to think ahead. Did you see Bastoni? Bastoni is good, but did you see how many fouls he did? Probably, he choked the guy.
Listen, Chiellini fouls too. It just doesn't get called against them.
Yeah, well, that's a
part, though. The one who can stop Lukaku.
Yeah, he did it twice this year. Twice this year he stopped.
Two things to Daddy's point, right? So yeah, we said that during the video, right? And when Chiellini played against Lukaku had probably some of his worst games. So I do believe that having him versus potentially Belgium, but I don't know as a coach if you can look ahead past anyone in a knockout round. Like you have to put your best team and keep moving ahead.
No, because besides Chiellini's little party injury, so if you play a guy Austria, definitely you lose for Belgium.
How many games in between potentially if they won with Austria?
Just one.
How many days?
One day? No.
No.
The one game.
Yeah,
Austria, it's already saying probably we get to Belgium.
You're looking ahead. I wouldn't
take it for granted. I wouldn't take it for granted. But for his point, if he's a little injured, you should be able to put in a Cherby and keep going, right? Like you should be able to, because also there's a difference, right? You place one guy on a team that's playing good, he's going to play better. You change 7, and that's also difficult, So
I don't think Austria scares Italy. So
I think with Austria, I think we can. A Cherby or Bastoni would do.
Yeah,
I agree.
I went to Belgium. You have to think. Belgium has a nice team. He has even the bench nice.
Belgium's one of the favorites.
Markets didn't play. A lot of people didn't play.
That'll be a real test to see. I don't want to look ahead to that. So
look ahead because you see. For this round already, you saw the team that can play something to you. It's Belgium, French, Italy, Spain. I don't put it. If they play like that, they're out.
No, Spain's been unimpressive.
But also, each game has their own story, right? Like you can't go like that because each game has its own, things that happen.
You look at the form they are in, Frank.
Yeah, the form, but then there's things that happen: red cards, injuries, penalties.
Pond has Belgium knocking out Italy. I think a lot of people probably have that.
Spain, they did the 3 game.
No, 2 games.
2 game, a lot of possession, and everything get a goal.
Because your boy Morocco blows.
Yeah, but let's talk about Italy for a little bit. They had the last 10 games. I think the stat was they've given up 9 shots, no goals, right? They're undefeated in 30 games.
Yeah.
And this is the first time they said that anyone's gone through the Euros winning all 3 games without giving up a goal, right? Now, again, it's all crap if you don't back it up with 3 more good games, right, and get to the final.
Oh, because you know what? Some people, even in the league, say let's say Italy has a good team, play good, but they never meet a good team yet. That's what
Yeah, but that could be said for a lot of teams.
No,
Well, who did Holland
but
play?
Italy, especially Italy, they think they didn't eat good team.
Well, that's
Switzerland
all
played.
these good teams. That's all these good teams, though. Like,
I mean, listen, the only teams who play good teams are Germany, France, and Portugal because they're in the same group. Everyone else, it's you played a decent team and two crappy teams. It's not like you're playing great teams.
Did you see Denmark? They got the second place with 1 game.
Yeah, we'll run that down after when we throw the groups up. Just to cap it off, though, for those who don't know, the match of Italy plays on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern against Austria.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why the reason you're looking ahead, because most people see Italy going through that, and then the matchup would be against Belgium after that. It'd be a huge matchup.
I agree. Italy should pass Austria, right? That's no hot take. But Austria plays hard. They play defensively, come back. If we play against Wales, we guaranteed to win.
You're not going to play that way because you have 11
I
real starters.
I understand, but each game has its own story. That's why they play the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a stupid red card could change the game.
There is a question mark. And that will make a difference. Who play, Locatelli or Verratti?
That's what we were saying.
Well, yeah, that's what we're saying. There's a lot of things, right? One bad, coach plays Verratti and the team has a different rhythm. Next thing you know, a penalty, you could be down 1-0 in the 70th minute. Like, there's no guarantees in sport. That's why we like it. Should we beat Austria? Of course, but
listen, the game today, they won Austria, right? But like, they weren't impressive at all. Like, that's not a team that scares you.
No,
they have some talent for sure, but I think Italy.
Listen, I also thought Switzerland was going to play Italy tougher. In fairness, I was wrong there because, Switzerland, I didn't, and we played pretty well. Where Switzerland, we closed them down.
See, that's where I don't blame Switzerland. I give credit to Italy. Italy played really, really well in that game, and nobody would play well against Italy if they're playing that good. So I don't blame Switzerland for that result, 3-0.
No, yeah. I mean, I think Italy gets some merit, but I also thought Switzerland was going to be able to have more balanced game and not close themselves into half field as much,
Mm-hmm. So based off of the group, guys, and seeing we've seen 3 games now, what do you guys realistically? Do you see them realistically making the finals at least? How far do you see them going?
They can go to the end and win.
Yeah.
I mean, we all bet on them before the tournament in separate FanDuel draft, so it's no surprise we think they go to the end.
I mean, you know what we have to take. If we to play the first game, if we play like that, we have more chance.
Yeah, to me, that's the question, right? You guys asked me how far they can go. It's one thing above everything else for me. It's, can they keep the same rhythm and intensity and speed of play throughout the rest of the tournament? Let's say they were, 3-4 more games, because in the end, that same possession that we had, that same creating chances, closing the other teams in, that's why we've been so impressive. If we lose physically just 10%, especially versus a better team, then you're going to see a much more balanced game. It's going to come down to who takes their chance.
One thing that you do notice with Italy, I've noticed at least, is like they're trying and they're the entire game. You watching these other teams and like defenders just not hustling. Like I've seen in other teams who are just not giving the effort that Italy's giving.
So that's one of the things that I notice obviously too. But like if I go on like the Reddits or whatever and you see like, oh, Verratti should play, and then they'll say, oh, Barella. Some people are saying Barella hasn't done that much. Barella doesn't stop running for 90 minutes. Like, he does so much stuff that just because he doesn't get an assist or a goal, you think he plays terrible. No, he does so much more than that. And like, that's something like he's the embodiment of what you want every player to be. Like,
you just made a good point, Dan. Right? So like, let's take Barella versus Verratti. Right? Let's say they both have off games in terms of like offensive production. With Barella, he's still going to run. He's going to win the ball. Right?
Exactly.
With Verratti, if he's having a bad offensive game, you don't get much out of him. You don't. Like, when he does tackle people, he's usually fouling people. And I don't know. I think listen, I was a big Verratti fan when Juventus didn't get him, when they could have got him for $8 million or whatever.
Yeah, $12 million.
$12 million?
Got him. Yeah.
But I don't think he's improved much then, to be honest with you.
No,
I mean, he's not. He's a good player. He's just not what Italy needs right now. I don't think. I think it's got to be Locatelli, Barella, and Jorginho. Those.
I think his problem is he wants to show too much. He wants he dribble too much. And dribbling too much, he slows the game.
He 100%. Slows it down and complicates it. And the thing is, you don't get. You don't, and with him slowing it down, you're not getting class. You're not getting something that's some genius time. You're usually getting, I'm slowing it down, and then end up doing a pass that I could have made 3 seconds ago.
It goes against what everyone else wants to do on the team. Give it to Spinazzola, give it to Chiesa, give it to Berardi, let them run down the field. It goes against everything, what they want to do. So it doesn't make sense to have him.
And let's be real.
He wastes lots of time to keep the ball to himself.
Yeah.
But that's the worst. You know what's the worst? Because our people, they place themselves to attack in a way. So if you lose the ball, they have trouble.
Yeah, they're screwed because they have so many people up forward. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah. Also, but let's be real. Just because he doesn't start doesn't mean he's not going to be a part of the team.
That's right too.
He's going to come on the field. He's going to play.
And listen, if he's not in full form, maybe bringing him in the 30th minute and make it where he doesn't have to save himself. He might play better.
There is a difference if he come in after.
Yeah, because I think he can run more and not have to save himself.
That's also why I like to see Chiesa come in off the bench because his speed, he's going to blow by guys that are tired.
I think Chiesa can make more an immediate impact than Berardi. I think Berardi takes a little bit longer to get into the game. Yeah, so him starting.
If you come in from the bench, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chiesa makes a difference right away.
The one thing, coming from the bench, there is two things. If the team is playing well, he will play eventually, will make a difference. But if the team is playing bad, maybe lose himself too.
He could, but I mean but as a coach, you want those guys that can make a difference,
right?
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, you don't want a guy that takes 25 minutes to get into the game.
Last thing on Italy, because I want to go off to something else. If you had to, even though Raspadori had not a good game, Immobile had to come out. You want Raspadori in over below?
100%.
I think so. At this,
I'm
not sure about that.
I don't. But here's what I was going to say. I think I would do it over if those are my only two choices. I think I would do it just because Raspadori was in good form, and you hope to catch lightning in a bottle. But I think honestly, if Immobile was out, I might try to look to see if I could get somehow Chiesa and Berardi on the field together. And Insigne together, and play more of a false nine because Belotti doesn't really hold the ball. He's not a pivot point anyway. So,
I would be more open to that.
But you see, to do that, to play Berardi, Chiesa, and Insigne, you have to try a lot in practice.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't really try.
Just you invent one game and say, oh, you three play together.
Yeah.
Tell him, Poot, he's a cutie.
We got some Mobley as a cutie comments.
Everybody has to know what to do, right?
So there were other games. I know this is a Serie A podcast, so we talk about Italy. But Dom, do you want to throw up the groups because we can just briefly talk about other teams that have qualified and all the other stuff that we saw. So. There's how many teams? 6 teams who've qualified so far, right? So even with that loss Wales had against Italy, they still qualified. So Italy and Wales are that group. Belgium swept Group B, so they're in there with Denmark, right?
Yeah.
Who the game today, by the way, I mean, just for the ultimate feeling of Denmark and everything that they've had with them. The fans going crazy. They needed to win and they needed +2 goal advantage over Finland, and they had it and then they lost it and then Belgium scores. No, but Belgium scores and they take the Belgium goal away. But the fans in the Denmark stands are going crazy when that happens, and then they get pissed off.
Oh, Rich is saying he hasn't seen the game. I think you just spoiled it for him. Sorry, Rich.
I apologize. So that. Anyway, it was just you should watch it if you haven't seen it. By the way, it is worth you should going back.
I haven't seen it either, Rich. In fairness, I was at work, so I'm going to watch it.
Which one?
The Denmark
Okay.
game.
Rich, they are on podcasts already. We've added to
Yeah, they're on podcasts.
Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. They're all on there. They'll be up tomorrow morning, or I don't know what time it is to you.
You see the Denmark you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, Denmark.
Denmark, where the one team with 9 points, right? Which Belgium, right?
mm-hmm.
A 3 team with 3 points.
Yeah, so that's it, goal differential.
Goal differential.
Yeah.
Denmark just won the one game, in other words.
Yeah,
that's why that result was so crazy.
But the way they won though was so awesome. And I said it last week. I want Denmark to win the whole thing over Italy. I want them to win. So it was glad to see them, advancing and moving on.
Let's not forget who scored 2 of those goals. Male.
He scored 1 or 2.
One,
one,
definitely
I think,
one.
right?
Yeah.
The fourth one.
I think he scored the 4th one.
And then our boy Damsgaard.
Damsgaard's had
Sampdoria making some money if they sell him.
He's had a good tournament. Really, as far as Serie A players, I mean, I saw a stat a few days ago that they had 9 of the 24 men.
Oh, the Serie A is doing good. We have more than 15 players.
Yeah, they have the most goals out of any league in the tournament, the most man in the matches. So they're really representing well. Not Juventus players, everyone else.
Juventus doesn't have any players in the tournament.
Yeah, they all score in their own net.
Yeah, we had the most own goals, Juventus.
Yeah, but we have the middle is out, right?
Yeah, Chesney.
Chesney's out too, right?
Yeah.
Ronaldo might be out.
Probably Spain.
Morata might be out, yeah.
So then the other Group C, you have Netherlands and Austria.
Hey, but you know what? I tell you
that
what.
Advanced.
There was 1 year Spain started like this, and then they won the tournament.
Yeah.
They started bad, and then they won the tournament.
I don't think Spain has that type of team this year, though.
Spain they haven't been awful. They just can't finish anything. Morata had a wide open net the other day. He blasted it 20 feet wide. He could have easily scored.
I told you guys the other day, they were popping up stats on the screen. It was like most expected goals so far, and Spain was number 1. Like they're
based on what chances that they didn't take?
Just expected goals. However they figured that out.
I think even Morata is ours. I think they need a forward. I don't call Morata just the point. Plus, Morata, you know what he does wrong, Morata, a lot of times? When they give the ball, he passes the ball back, even if for 15 yards. And good.
Yeah.
He should be able to turn.
Well, if you remember those games he had in the Champions League where he was uncontainable, that's what he did. He would get it with his back and turn with speed and run 30 yards.
And then he move by Senev inside the area.
Yeah, he does drift outside a lot.
You know when Morata is good on Juventus? Because we have Ronaldo. And I've never seen a number 9 defer to other people as much as Morata. He has no ego for a number 9. Like he'll pass to other people all the time. He's very unselfish. So that's not common for a forward. You know what I mean? And I think that's why he gets along probably with Ronaldo.
It's like that. They play second point. Second one.
I agree with Poot. I mean, he's the most fragile player, I think, in the history of soccer. Just when he's on. But if he can go off on a dime, and then he's gone for a month.
When he's in form, though, I mean, he can have a solid 6 to 8 weeks where he scores a ton of goals.
I don't understand why Spain don't use more Ruiz.
And he came off the bench last game.
He came off the bench, but he should have played at the beginning. That guy.
Well, they have a deep team.
It's a talented team, man.
I will say that I did like Kiefer more on Wales.
I was gonna mention him because I know you liked him so much.
I do like him. I mean, I like the way the guy is just. I mean, I'm probably not saying anything that people don't follow him probably already know this already, obviously. But I mean, in terms of putting him in and winning the balls in the air and being that pivot point for a team potentially. He wins everyking.
Listen, the 20, 30 minutes he played, he did more than Bale did for the full 90.
Yeah, the forward on Wales, the forward on Wales. More, more. Yeah.
That being said, with Wales, they play Denmark, right? Next round.
Barely.
Who are you picking in that game? I'm picking
Yeah,
Denmark.
the one chance all game they missed too.
Yeah.
Yeah, wide open. I'm never picking against Denmark, Chris, so I will pick them the rest of the way.
But that's what I mean. I think Denmark does have a better team.
Yeah. I think, and the way they won, I think I'll pick Denmark too. Honestly, in that game.
The next game, Denmark Wales.
Yeah, that's what you just said.
They can go. Denmark one time, once he went up, I think it went to that final.
Yeah, they came in third one time.
I don't know if they won too.
It was like 92 or something like that.
I think they came in third.
No, I think they won.
I think they won it.
They won it?
Yeah.
Who was on that team?
No, Denmark once.
It was in the 90s, I think. I can't remember.
So we must have known because in the 90s, the best Denmark would probably play in Serie A. So who was there? Because
a long time ago. That's why we cannot remember what's playing.
So the rest.
Schifo.
Shivo was on Belgium.
Belgium.
Shivo was on Belgium. He was pretty awesome.
I don't know my European history.
I don't remember, but they had a good team at that time. Denmark.
So the three other groups are going to finish tomorrow and Wednesday, right? And then we'll have the full bracket.
Yeah, you'll know these names: Laudrup, Henrik Larsson, right?
Yeah, Laudrup was your.
Yeah, Laudrup was really good. So I knew I just had to pop up some names.
Yeah, I think it was them in the 90s. They had that big run, and then in the 2000s, Greece had that big run. Those are the two big, runs
Schmeichel
teams.
Schmeichel was their goalie. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm hoping. I think they have a chance to at least advance another round. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Do you guys have anything else to say about the Euro before?
They had Plot too.
Yeah.
David Plot from Body. They had
Plot. I think we bought it. I think.
Yeah, Plot was good. He was underrated. Alan Shearer.
Answering Dan's question, England still does not look good.
Well, what position they're in? England.
They're second. They're tied for first. They're in second of the group.
But they have looked really, really pedestrian. Not good at all.
What do you think about they're going to be German and French, right?
Oh, it's still up in the air, right?
No, I mean Portugal, French.
I mean, I think 3 teams can make it from that group.
German, Hungary.
Yeah, I think there's 3 from that team, right?
That group?
Yeah, I don't know. What happened if Hungary wins beat Germany?
Yeah, well then Hungary's going to go with points, probably, right?
Hungary. Yeah, they would.
Well, I guess it'd be goal differential, though, right?
Are we expecting that, though? I mean, Germany's.
No, I mean, I picked Germany second behind France.
Listen, Germany, Gosens, we were saying this weekend, Gosens up to value another like $15 million the way he played.
Okay, and I fought you guys on this, right? Because, again, if you guys think I'm a Spinazzola fanboy, you guys know, if you listen to the show, you know I'm a bigger Gosens fanboy. So I don't think he's done anything on this tournament that he hasn't done for the last 2 years. So it's an insult to him to say he's raised his money. It just means people are paying attention now.
We know that. Other people don't follow Atalanta like we do, right?
Yeah, of course you do. If you're these other teams buying people, you're talking about the top division in Italy. You're not talking about City.
Atalanta wants 35 million.
Yeah, I think they're getting 50.
No.
I think so.
Now Barcelona just came in too for him.
They have no money. They're not anyway.
I don't know. So answer my question. What has Gosens done in this tournament to raise his over what he showed you over the last 2 years? But he's been the best left.
Nothing. This is just a higher profile thing. So
hey, did you see Ronaldo was criticized for the no look pass? You know.
Hey, Pon says he watches us because he doesn't follow.
I don't respect
Pon says he watches us because he doesn't watch Atalanta. I recommend watching Atalanta. They're way more entertaining.
Pon's an Inter fan. He's all happy that Çalhanoğlu is coming to their team. All right, so we'll get to that.
He's an Inter fan. It's true.
One other England rumor, I don't know if you guys saw that, was Man City actually made an offer for Harry Kane. 140 million, and then a choice of like 3 players.
140 plus the players.
Yeah, it was like Sterling and 2 other guys, but I don't know. They keep saying they're going to decline everything because they want to keep him. I don't think they're going to be able to.
That's a good offer. It's a big offer.
And I could you say no to that offer? Like if I'm Tottenham, I'm moving him for 100.
I mean, Tottenham has a ton of money though, right? They don't really need money, but yeah,
they don't have money. There are always budget issues in there.
The whole Premier League has money.
They have money. You don't say they don't have money.
They don't want to spend it though.
That's a different story.
I don't understand.
Yeah, even Ponce, you can't say no to that offer.
Atalanta wants the mirror, right? Why Juventus doesn't try to make the exchange with Gosens?
Well, that's what I said. That's what I said. If they really want, because my thinking is they're going to sell Romero, right? Adelant, and they want Demiral. Give him Demiral plus cash for Gosens if they'll do that deal. But I don't think, I mean, a lot of things have to happen the way the newspapers say, and we don't know if that's true or not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, you know the other things about the market? Juventus for Vlahovic, Fiorentina.
Yeah.
You know they put Perin, El Rugani, and Mani.
Oh yeah, take our crap. Although Perin is good.
Wait,
Perin is good.
Perin, Rugani, and who? For what?
Want to keep
Money.
That's a second.
Who's the player?
No, it was money.
Oh, it wasn't money. It was
no. For what player? For
Fiorentina. What player did he say?
Ouch! She said the forward.
Vlahovic.
Oh,
get the hell out of here!
Yeah. If the money's 55 million, you can also have Rugani.
Oh no! Then maybe they put another 30 million.
Dude, you're telling me? First of all, let's be honest. We're Juventus fans. Rugani is not worth more than $5 million in the market. Let's be real.
Less than that.
Perin's a goalie who's good, but
if they have Dragowski.
Yeah, if you have Dragowski and you're thinking about selling him for $10 million, how much are you going to value Perin? Like
that's such an asinine proposal.
It doesn't make any sense. That's why these rumors are stupid. Like at least.
So other rumors that we have with Juventus, they're saying that they actually put in an offer for Locatelli, which is 30 million plus Dragusin. But that's getting quickly rejected. I mean, you're going to need more than that to get him. What do you guys feel with that initial offer?
No, they do 30 million. Dragusin and some other young guy.
To me, it depends on who that other guy is, right? Like, is it someone of any?
Fagioli, they were saying. Yeah.
No, Fagioli wants to keep it. Allegri wants to keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you got to give to get, right? So either you give them money, you give them players.
I think they have to pump the money up. That's the only way.
The problem is too. Let's face it. No one on Juventus's current roster, unless it's really young guy like Dragusin, is going to be able to be afforded from a weekly wage bill on Sassuolo.
Yeah.
Like they don't want any of your players. They make too much money.
No, like you can't even say give him Bernardeschi because he makes way too much money. So
he probably makes more than 10 of their guys put together.
Yeah. Other one, I don't know. I mean, I mentioned before, but Chananoglu, all of a sudden Inter made an offer, and it seems like a done deal that he's going from Milan to Inter.
Oh, he's going to get the 5 million a year.
I think it's such a bad move for Inter.
1 million bonus.
They can have him.
It's such a bad move. They're going to regret that in probably 18 months. They're going to want to try
to
get
it. 5 million's not too much. That's not crazy.
You about that. You see, they lost Eriksen.
I wouldn't pay it, but
Eriksen, I think Jared can play with that. Within South, yeah.
That's a lot of money.
I'm not a huge Chananoglu fan, but people like him. We got a very hard hitting comment from the that we just can't pass up sharing from the chat of Rugani Blows comment. So we'll make sure we share that for people who can't see the chat.
Saka is a stranger. Old coaches, for example, Sarri went to Lazio. You know who's the player that they want to get rid of? Correa.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
He would be perfect for Sarri.
He'd be perfect for Sarri.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No, he wants to play with 3 forward. But Correa is the old one with some fantasy, something.
Yeah, I mean, where are you going to get out of all the people on that team? Correa can be like Insigne or Hamsik that you had at Monopoly. Who else is going to do that?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense.
You can use as a Insigne.
Yeah. So
Some other transfer. Rodrigo De Paul finally left Udinese, $35 million to Atleti. We said he was going to go to a big team, Atletico Madrid.
is there a clause in there to get money over time if they resell him? 35 is not a bad deal. It's not.
I thought it was a decent amount. I mean, I thought that was a pretty fair deal.
I guess. How old is he, Dan? How old is the?
I mean, he's in their late 20s. I don't know.
Nah,
Mid 20s.
Yeah, something like that. But that's a good. If he keeps his head on right, like that's a really good.
Yeah, I think that's a good move for Atletico.
On that team, they're a good team, so he's going to fit right in and play and help.
Do you guys have any other transfers that you heard about? Because there's one other topic I want to talk about.
I mean, I don't know much about the kid, but apparently Atalanta is high on this Botman guy, this center back. I don't even know what team is for, but that's just the rumor out there.
If Atalanta wants him, he'll be good.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
All right, so that's transfers. The last thing I want to talk about was the Gattuso fiasco at Fiorentina. I don't even know, Frank, you heard about this.
A disgrace. It was the fact that
he was there for 23 days, and they parted ways because of transfer strategy issues. They did not agree on the transfer. My question is, if you're in an interview with somebody, how would both sides not say, hey, what do you guys feel about what direction we're going to go in the transfer market? How does that not come up?
I'm 100% with you, Dan. This is the thing that made no sense to me, and why I think sometimes the people that run Italian soccer teams run it like so amateurish, because you have an open spot. You have a person you have in mind, even if Gattuso is your guy. You bring him in. You don't spend a day and a half, 2 days together saying, okay, show me your vision. Who do you like on our roster? Who don't you like? Who do you think you need? Like, are we talking?
Because we say in Italy we are a 52 million coach. So not two persons have the same idea.
Right. Even more reason to ask and have that conversation before you hire your coach. Like, you're running the team. You have to make sure the guy who's come in the same vision. Okay, who do you like on my roster? Who don't you like? Who would you get rid of? Who do you need to buy? Because I want to make sure I have the money. I'm thinking the same way, right? Like, what you don't hire the guy and then fire him 3 weeks later.
Well, what's our budget? What's the 5-year plan? What are we doing?
Budget for the players, but not only players, like his staff too. Like, hey, can I hire this dude? Like, you know, like, I don't know. They should be talking about stuff like this.
And if you remember, they hired him so quickly. So they obviously didn't do a very extensive interview.
The next day, right?
Yeah.
Did they literally?
He was hired so quickly because so many teams wanted Gattuso, so they jumped on him.
So that I don't understand. Like, to me, it makes no sense, and I blame the team and Gattuso, because you're interviewing, you have to make sure the thing's good for you too, right? As a candidate, that's one thing we hate Conte, right? Because he comes in with this list of crap that he wants, and then you give it to him, and then he gives you another list, right?
He goes, "You have an idea,"
but at least he has an idea. Like, what did Gattuso go? Sure, I just want to work, give me a job, and then we'll talk about it later.
So not only did he lose that, but he was also up for the Tottenham job, and I think he's lost that as well.
Well, he was like the leader for that, but then like apparently like the Twitter went crazy for the fans.
Yeah, and they were saying some racist stuff or something.
Oh yeah, that I didn't know about though, right? I guess
you have to understand one thing, Frank. A lot of coach, a lot of people, they don't have many offers. So the first one offer.
But Gattuso had tons of offers.
But Gattuso, you would have thought.
No, you see, Pirlo, he refused to team.
Pirlo sucks. He shouldn't even get another job.
Maybe no, it's limited.
Does he have a right to
he has. Pirlo needs to go to Serie C for a couple of years and then maybe come back. But Gattuso, so I blame his agent too. So there's another person to blame, because if he's going to get fired, he's getting fired from Napoli, right? His agent should be having conversations with these teams, right? And saying, okay, as soon as he's free, what vision do you have? Why do you want Gattuso?
Yeah.
Because there's going to be 7 openings. Don't make him sign the first one and let him interview with the other teams then.
So keeping with Fiorentina, there is also like Italiano just signed that contract extension in Spezia, but apparently Fiorentina now is going to meet the clause in the contract and steal him. So that's
that's the only thing. I mean, the musical chairs and the coaching is ridiculous.
It's a little crazy.
But one guy, you got rid of Gattuso and you replace him with Italiano, I'm happy with that. That's the one person I'd be like, okay, fine. Give that guy a chance. The rest of the names out It's like, who wants any of these guys?
No,
Everyone's got a
yeah.
job.
Everybody wants, it's a mission. You think Italiano is going to do great things for him?
You
We
hope
don't
so.
know.
You hope
We don't
he
know.
does. You can only do a big off of what you've seen from him. He did
He
great.
did just what he was making, 500,000.
Yeah.
A day. Now Fiorentina offer 1.5 million or something like that. I say yes.
Oh yeah, listen, there's an element of going up for sure and having bigger teams, but also you don't know until these guys get in the spot. They either do well or they don't do good.
Yeah.
I'd
Pond
rather
asked
have
in the chat how much was the release clause for Italiano. I don't know, but they didn't say. That's all I read was they were going to meet the clause and hopefully bring him
Also,
over to
I
the team.
don't believe in that. Release clause for players is bad enough. You're gonna have a release clause for your coach, so
For
it's like saying,
yes.
I'll come here, but I get to leave if someone offers me more money.
100%.
I'm a coach. I'm a team. I say, listen, you want to coach here? You don't want to coach
But
here.
you also
Especially-
don't want someone who doesn't want to be there.
Listen, there's stepping stones.
Exactly.
It's just like players. There's coach stepping stones for coaches too. You
Yeah, but
want to
look
be
what
the best of the best eventually.
But look what happened. Like they came in, they met the clause, and it was like, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah, but they gave it to him.
But he could
Yeah,
also
that's what I mean.
reject too if he didn't want that job. You can say, fine, you met the clause, but I don't want to go there. He can reject it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to accept.
I think
But if you're negotiating one in, that means you want to leave. It's like the players to negotiate the free agency.
You're giving yourself options and outs. And
Yeah.
it's all about
That's
that.
exactly what it is. You're
Yeah,
giving
so-
yourself outs, right? Like the players are like, oh, I want an opt out after 2 years if I don't like it.
Okay, I mean, listen, that's good negotiating. He has a good agent. I'm not blaming him for that. So
No, I'm not blaming him. I don't think these teams are run that smart sometimes.
Sticking with coaches, I mentioned it to you guys the other day, but now I'm blanking on the team. Ranieri was rumored to go somewhere. Do you guys remember what team that was that I sent you?
Ranieri, I think one French team. The one.
No, it was an Italian team.
No.
I forget. I don't know, but he was in the rumor.
So is it John DiFrancesco or Gianpaolo's rumored for Samp? I forget which. I can't keep track of all the coaches. Gianpaolo's rumored for a Samp, which he's done awful. Yeah, it's so much to keep track of. Honestly, it's very confusing.
The whole coaching carousel is crazy, especially when they get rid of a coach and then bring him back 6 months later. Like it just makes no sense.
They're still on the payroll, so they figure, hey.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, all right, come back. We don't like the guy that came after you worse. So
I kind of don't blame him.
Pon said you're acting like you're going to be at the team for the rest of your life, for the rest of the life. That's the idea. We want somebody there for 30 years. We want them to be part of your life.
No, I'm not saying that, but I think it shows their true colors when they're like, sure, I'll become your coach, but give me an option to get out of here as soon as I want. Like
I don't blame them. The team didn't have to do it. That's their fault.
They didn't have to do that, but as a smaller team, you're probably like, okay, I'll give you this to get you to come here, right?
You have to.
If you were Juventus or Milan, would you give that clause?
They don't have to give that clause.
That's right.
They're in a totally different position. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Messi has a release clause. Exactly. Everyone in Spain has a release clause.
Yeah,
but still, they set that number. If they put it too low, somebody can jump in on it.
Well, you know what?
Then Messi still has the chance to say, I don't want to go.
Take for example, Juventus, Allegri, right? At least Allegri, an old player. Some coach, they go to some place. Do they know the player, or they think they're going to change them and say, "Oh, do what play the way I want."
Well, that's my point. That's my point. Like when you go into these interviews, you would think the coach would go in with a ton of education on the team, right? They would go in and go, okay, I did a ton of research, right? I watched every game from last year. I know your roster. Like, would you just show up and go, hey, want to have some coffee? Cool. What money you want to, like, what do they do? They split an espresso and sign the deal? Like, I don't understand. Based on the type of cookies they serve. Like, what do they do?
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to mention Gattuso because he had a crazy
yeah, but Gattuso got the screw in with Tottenham.
Yeah, because they were all the race things that they were saying.
No, because they say in the past he say some homophobic shit or discriminate things.
Yeah.
And defense they didn't want it.
And if he said that stuff, it's gonna chase him around forever. At this point.
Listen, he's not the first one. He's not the last one. They'll get screwed with that kind of stuff. You gotta watch. You gotta watch what you say.
People are fans.
Yeah, if it's offensive, it's gonna be.
They don't give a shit to what he says.
Well,
Yeah,
listen,
some towns are.
They suspended that guy. What team was it? One game in the Euros for.
Some people say I agree with you.
Yeah, one player. What he said against North Macedonia, he got suspended because he said something stupid and racist.
Yeah, you can't do that stuff anymore. It's just like, not that you ever should have done it anyway, but now with the internet and everything being recorded, forget about it.
Today, what game Belgium watched today?
No, I was watching the other game.
No, because there was just a right to win. He was good. Dog.
He's young. He's like 19.
He's young. Yeah, but sometimes he was, a fighter with the ball.
One more before we wrap up. One more transfer, Chris. I know you said Sassuolo is moving Marlon probably with his coach Shakhtar.
Mm-hmm.
Marlon Wayans.
Marlon, the central defender on Sassuolo, is going to re-up with his coach in Shakhtar. Apparently,
I mean, who knows what's going to happen in Sassuolo because if Locatelli leaves.
Oh, by the way,
leaves,
you know Milan wants Barak.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So
if they sell the defender they sold, Locatelli they sold, Barak, who they play?
Oh yeah, they're in trouble, and their coach left.
Yeah, we got a question in chat. It says from Pond, who is the team you think will underachieve in the Euros from here out?
I mean, you can see it just in this week. Like Spain can screw themselves. England could even screw themselves. Like the two teams and then you have that group of death also. That like one of those teams might get screwed as well. But Spain is the one that everyone's picking to.
I could see Spain, but I would say England because if you look at the bookies, they were like the favorite heading in for some reason. So like.
They're always the favorite.
What the book put in England?
They before the tournament they were number one.
You're kidding.
Well, France was, and they were right behind them.
At one point, I feel like they were one. Had the home field. So
that's because so much money in England in terms of moving. I think moving the lines.
They get the most play on them, so of course they're gonna. The numbers gonna be lower.
Croatia. Malinowski, who played?
Ukraine. They didn't play good today. I watched that game.
They played all.
They got a third place, right?
Yeah, he was non-existent today.
Maybe they have to think too. They're not sure to go to qualify, right?
Yeah.
So go back to what I said before about like Italy actually trying. You watched that Ukraine game today. Holy crap! It's like no one wanted to play. It was bad. That was embarrassing. I thought.
And they had something to play for.
Yeah.
And going back to the bets, Chris, you said that Italy jumped to the favorites now, right?
I think they were two
right behind France. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So they went from they were like 8th or 9th at the beginning of the tournament, and they're moved up to 2nd. And obviously, based on the way that they're playing.
This was
do we know
who already qualified too?
So we know who Belgium would play because you guys are saying we play Australia and then the winner of Belgium who?
Not yet.
They don't know
yet.
Tomorrow and Wednesday there is the rest.
Yeah.
And then who who matches up with that army after that? Who's in?
Well, it'd be Belgium, Italy, right? That would be the.
Yeah. No, I know, but after that.
I don't know. Bro, they have to. It's not even filled out yet. How are you supposed to know?
I think it might be France though.
Well, at least if they win it, they'll have to beat a lot of good teams. So
the third seeds make Pon said it makes things funny. I don't like the whole third seed.
Me neither.
It's annoying to me.
People are.
I can't. No, it keeps it interesting for the teams, but I can't wrap my head around who's going to end up where, and it's kind of like
it's more difficult for me to track personally. If it was just two top teams of each group, then I would know who's in. This just makes it a little more confusing. The two lowest third seeds don't make it. But what is it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Points and then goal differential. It's just like there's too much math going on. Simplify it for me. So for our next show, we will have the full bracket set up, and there will be actually advanced. We'll have some more teams now.
Well, Italy will have played their next game, right?
For next Monday, we're going to have some people qualify for the next round.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Producer Dom's throwing up our tracker, which I don't even remember what I picked. These are all our picks for every single game.
On a site that was horrible.
On a terrible site that I think gave me a virus on my computer. What's my score here? 22? 14? No, this is rigged. I'm not going by this thing. Chris, so I'm in last place. Chris is in third place, 2 points more than me. Producer Dom's in second place, 1 point ahead of Chris, and then Frank, you're winning 1 point ahead of Dom.
I keep getting ads for sex toys now since I went on the site.
You didn't fill it out, so you don't have a score.
Yeah, this site was awful.
This site was horrible.
Why you don't put them in the contest?
Germany over Portugal. Congratulations. You were riding that Gosens wave.
Yeah.
All right.
Con said it might be my other browser. No.
Nope, it's definitely the site. This site was atrocious. Anyway, that's what we have for you this week. If you're catching this at the end, we'll be on podcasts. The podcast will be uploaded tomorrow, right? Spotify, Google, Apple. It'll be on YouTube. The video will be on YouTube again. So catch us on there. We got Twitch.
Anyone who failed to get their dad a Father's Day gift, subscribe into our podcast as a makeup gift. It's a good opportunity.
Mm.
Yeah. We have a Twitter. I tweeted like over 5 times this week, so moving up.
You're on fire. What's our Twitter?
Hey, what I do? Let's the computer. Let's finish setting up. Well, okay.
This guy's trying to troubleshoot his computer as we're in the middle of it.
This guy's
what I do.
I think you can leave it.
We will see you guys next week.
What the hell?
That's a highlight of the show.
All right.
That was great.